Cubs lose yesterday to the Pirates. Bat struggle again. We're going to get into that conversation. First back-to-back series loss for the Cubs all year long, and the Pirates with some really tough pitching, but the Cubs just unable to get runs across in this series. Nico out, Dansby out. We're expecting them both back on Tuesday. That's good news as the Cubs will take on the Braves. All that right here on the Cubs Baseball channel. Make sure that you like and subscribe. Give us a thumbs up. Let's get this thing going. Great to have you on here. Go Cubs. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Cubs Baseball channel. Great to have you guys here. I'm Mick Gillespie at Broadcaster Mick on the socials, and it is awesome to talk Cubs baseball with you today. All right, this is an off day, a much-deserved off day for a team that is banged up right now, sitting second place behind the Milwaukee Brewers. What's going on with this Cubs team? First off, it's injuries, right? And when you look at the lineup, you say to yourself, now, why is this team struggling to score? Well, first off, if Miles Mastrobuoni and Nick Magical are in the starting lineup together and you're not playing Dansby, Swanson, and Nico Heorner, you're taking away two of your best assets and you're using two of your bench players to play every day. And that's been the case for the Cubs, during this run. Now, Seiya Suzuki, Cody Bellinger are coming back from injury. They're trying to get their feet under them again. Ian Happ has been, not very good this season so far. It feels like he might be hurt as well, or playing through maybe whatever. I mean, he had the hamstring, cost him part of spring training. He's been out with that at times this year, hasn't gone on the IL, but he doesn't look normal. And so that's where we are right now. And then, they won on Saturday in a 1-0 game. They scored on a sac fly, right? And then sac flies helped them out on Sunday, but they need to get base hits in those spots. You got to get base hits to keep the innings going. Pirates scored, but it wasn't like the Pirates were hitting the ball around the yard. The wind was blowing in. They had infield hits. The Cubs hit the ball where on a normal day they're home runs, but not that day. And you got to be able to win both type games. You got to be able to win the games with the wind blowing out, and you got to be able to win the games with the wind blowing in. And that certainly isn't the way that the Cubs are playing right now, dealing with these injuries. You're hoping that the team is going to get better. And the good news is that they are going to get better. They're going to get healthy. Nico Heorner and Dansby Swanson are expected back on Tuesday. They both went through the normal pregame workouts on Sunday and everything checked out, right? So you got Swanson coming back from the right knee injury, and then and he's been on the IL, retroactive to May 8th, right? And then Nico's been on the bench with the left hamstring issue for 6 games now. But both of those guys went through. Craig Counsell said, hey, we're hoping that both guys are in the lineup on Tuesday. So that's going to give your team a jolt. And, you got to remember, Nico was really playing some good baseball. 269, 2 home runs, 11 doubles, 12 RBIs, 25 runs scored in his 41 games this season. Swanson just didn't look right with the knee injury. He was like 2 for his last 22 in 7 games. But I think he's going to be refreshed. You're going to start to get some offense out of him. And, you start to talk about the injuries. And here's your 10-day, 15-day injured list. I'm just going to run through this for you because this is pretty ridiculous, right? Dansby with the right knee, Drew Smyly with the right hip. You got Daniel Palencia with the right shoulder strain, and expect Smyly to rehab in the minor leagues. Palencia had a minor league rehab 2 days ago, pitched an inning and allowed 3 runs on 2 hits. Did have 2 strikeouts, but gave up 2 home runs. And, he's been on the IL since May the 7th with that right shoulder sprain. You got Jordan Wicks, who has a left forearm strain. He threw 40 pitches in 2 innings, live BP on the 17th. And then Craig Counsell said on May 18th that he's got some bullpen sessions coming up and that he'll do a minor league rehab sometime soon. So he's been on the IL since April 28th, right? But no structural damage to the arm, right? Colton Brewer, who, I mean, he's on the big league roster, but he's been kind of big leagues, minor leagues. He went out with a low back strain and had that back issue on May 15th. They were in Atlanta at the time, and they say, that he's getting better. Obviously just going to take some rest. Yancy Almonte, right shoulder strain. He's been on the IL since May 11th. And we'll see how that turns out. It was really on May 7th that he felt the injury, and he's currently just shut down from throwing and working on a strengthening progression program. And so we'll see what happens there. Keegan Thompson, viral illness, whatever that means, some sort of sickness, right? And, you hope that he's going to come back. That's retroactive to May 12th. Adbert Alzolay, another right forearm strain. These are really dangerous. His arm showed a right flexor strain. That was on May 14th. And so it's another rest and then treatment, and then we'll see where he is, but no timeline yet for him. And then you got Julian Merriweather with the rib stress fracture on the 60-day. Caleb Killian, who had a really good spring training with a right shoulder strain, and he's on the 60 days. So that's kind of where we are right now, plus more injuries. And every time you turn around, somebody's injured. But having Nico and Dansby back in the lineup should help the Cubs, start to put the ball in play more and get some more hits. And that's what it's going to come down to, getting more hits. As they try to win some games here, dealing with all of these injuries. And and I know, look, I'm not making an excuse up for these guys. If I thought that they weren't playing well, I'd say, hey, they didn't playing well. But the effort's there. It's just, you look at the lineup, and the lineup just isn't very good. I mean, and all you got to do to get an idea of what you're looking at is just imagine you're sitting in the press box and you look out at the field and you start to go around the infield. Okay. Is it David Ross or Wilson Contreras at catcher? Is it Chris Bryant at third and Addison Russell at short and Javi Baez at second? And Anthony Rizzo at first, and, Ben Zobrist. And I mean, what you got by the players that you throw out there, right? So, for the Cubs, if you got Madrigal and Masterboni and Amaya all in the lineup together, that's not a whole lot of offense. I mean, you're talking about, the best one hitting wise is Madrigal, and he's batting .221. Mike Tauchman's average is down to 257. Seiya Suzuki, is still trying to get back to where he was before the injury. He's hitting 260. Bellinger's hitting in the 260s. Morel's hitting 216, although he's had some good at bats. Hap's down to 208. So it's the batting averages are low because they're not getting hits. You can do other things to help your team win, but the Cubs just got to get more hits. The tougher the lineup is to navigate, the more that everyone is going to benefit from that. And I think that's where we're at right now. But it's just kind of the way that this season has gone with all of these injuries. So they'll get the off day. We'll keep an eye on what's going on. Maybe some roster moves will pop up. I mean, they're going to have to make some moves, right? They're going to bring Dansby Swanson off the IL. What's the move that follows that? Is Pete Crow Armstrong going back down to the minor leagues? I mean, that's a question, although he did come into the game yesterday, steal a base. He can run, he plays outfield. Is he the odd man out? Is it Nick Madrigal, not Nick Madrigal, but Miles Masterboni, right? It could be him. I mean, he's been down there, kind of the shuttle service guy this year. So we'll find out. And there's other things that go into this, but Cubs will take on the Braves, even though that graphic says Pirates in the Braves. But here we go. Yeah, Cubs and Braves, 6:40 Wrigley Field on Tuesday. And, we'll get into all of that stuff tomorrow, the pitching matchups and everything else that's happening there. But tough loss on Sunday. Lose a 3-2 game, looking for that big hit, that big base runner, and it just never came. But that doesn't mean that the season's over. I mean, this is just part of what a normal baseball season's like. And the Pirates have some really good young arms. And the Cubs just got to have competitive at-bats against those guys, and it's tough to do it when your best hitters are on the IL. But I don't remember ever seeing a season where so many guys were hurt, and then you have to go and have so many different replacements. And with all the pitching guys that are on the IL right now, you got to give the pitching a lot of credit. Tyone did a nice job. The bullpen looked good. Ben Brown was good. It just came down to me that you got to be able to score runs. And you can put that on Bellinger, and you can put that on Suzuki, and you can put that on Happ, and you can put that on any of the guys on the team. But there were some well-hit balls in the game. They just hit them too high, and the wind was knocking them down. So that's where we are right now. Get in the comment section. Let's talk about the Cubs and what you guys think they need to do to improve. Is there someone on the roster that you feel like isn't playing enough? Would you like to see more Pete Crow Armstrong? Do you think he could help? How about Mike Tauchman? Kind of just been one of those guys that's turned out to be very reliable for this team throughout all of the injuries. And I got to give him credit. He's played really well in the spots that he's been out there for. And he's definitely someone that's a big contributor on this team. And so there's some decisions to be made as pitchers get healthy. What do you do with Kyle Hendricks? Where does he go? So all of that, we'll get into that stuff as we move forward. But thanks for hanging out. Hey, let's get this week started the right way. Enjoy the off day. And if something pops, come check us out here and we'll get you all the information you need. Go Cubs.